Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Super Game Room Dudes. Tonight we have some shocking and appalling news. We're going to go right into it. We're going to talk about lots of really interesting things that you probably don't even want to hear, but we're going to talk about it anyways. You're going to be joined by myself, the R-Man Restalgia, Michael B, the Game Genie, P-Dubs, and Carl, but not really, on the Super Game Room Dudes tonight. Let's go. Let's go.
Just when I think that you can't do any worse, you go and totally redeem yourself. What an intro.
You're welcome, boys.
That was horrible. Restalgia. One of your worst.
That's okay. I'll take it.
Definitely not one of your best. So it's Friday. Mike's camera's mirrored.
Oh.
Okay, Mike, go backwards.
Restalgia's Batman logo's looking good on his legends behind him. Take a look at how good that looks.
It looks super sharp, doesn't it?
Yeah, look at how nice. Yeah, it looks really spectacular. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
An intro for the ages, the dark ages. Thanks so much, Retro Labrat. All right, it's Friday. It's the Super Game Room Dudes. How you guys doing? Welcome to the show. We greatly appreciate your support every week, as always. Tonight, we're going to talk about a number of topics, including AtGames Legends Pinball 4K, New Wave Toys, Assassin's Creed, Anbernic, and so much more. So we got a lot on the hopper here. We should have Carl was going to make the show, but then we had a little miscommunication. Like, are we doing a show? Are we not doing a show? Mike's out of town. I have to leave town. I have to hop on an airplane soon and fly to Colorado. So, you know, it was up in the air whether or not we were even going to be able to do a show. And then we're like, we're not doing a show. So we told Carl, and Carl made other plans. And it's like, wait a minute, maybe we could squeeze something in. And then Carl, you know, got busy, and, you know, it just sucked. So I feel bad. So, but we'll hopefully have him here next week. How's life in Calgary there, Michael B?
That's right. I'm Michael B, and this is my last night in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. So I'll be headed home tomorrow. I'll get in late tomorrow night, and then Sunday I'm going to pick up my second Dragon's Lair arcade one-up from the brick.
You're buying another arcade one-up Dragon's Lair?
It's already bought. It was from that sale a couple of weeks ago.
Just rebuilding the arcade, and he's here.
What up, YouTube?
Oh, good.
It's your boys.
Oh, man. Quartercade, we do not need a fourth. We appreciate the support. But Carl made it. You made it? You canceled your plans? I feel bad.
Yeah,
honest,
the rain
Quartercade
canceled my plans. So,
Ooh, it started raining?
yeah, storm and lightning, everything. It's like, okay, that's over.
Nice.
Serendipity, baby. This was supposed to happen. The four boys back together again. Bananas in our pants. Let's rock and roll.
Yeah, the four of us haven't been together in about 3 weeks or so, or almost a month. Because, you know, guys, we have lives. It's hard to balance 4 men's lives to make sure you're free every Friday evening. We got families and shit, right? We got jobs. It's just impossible.
3 men's lives, yeah.
What do you mean 3 men's lives?
I'll let you think about it for a little bit. I'm sure you can figure it out.
That one went over my head. Who doesn't have a life?
Well, he's just telling you not to. He's telling you not to assume his gender.
I was saying one of us is a child. That's all. I was saying we're not all men. At least one of us is. It's okay.
Don't talk about Michael B like that.
That's what I was talking about.
Thanks, Al. We miss you too, man. We miss you too. Al, we might need to do some new artwork for the show. You and I should talk. Maybe I can commission you to put something together for us. Let's talk about that offline. So, Carl, how you been, man? We haven't seen you around in a while. What's going on in your universe?
I was doing training all week. I typically go out of town in May, but unfortunately the event was here in Detroit, so I had to stay here in Detroit for the event. But my boss did let me get a room down at the hotel, so I didn't have to drive an hour, back and forth to go to the classes. So it's better than a stick in the eye. But we had a good time. Learned a lot of good stuff. So I was ready for the weekend and a strong drink, and I've yet to have that strong drink. But the weekend is here at least.
Go get your drink, man. It's okay. Go get your drink.
I had 2 beers at dinner. I'm good to go.
Yeah, I was listening to Glenn's show, and I was also throwing in some super chats trying to get some information from Shiloh New Wave Toys. They had a good show going on over there, so hats off to them. Very exciting. I guess we could just kick off talking about New Wave Toys here, right? Or do you want to talk about them a little later?
No, we might as well do it, man.
Yeah, let me grab a drink then, and
yeah, do your thing, and then I'll say hi to the chat while you're doing that. That way, Carl doesn't miss the discussion. Excuse me, guys. All right, if you're here and you want your shout outs, let us know. We got Biggie Fries in the house, Al Vickman, Jim, the Pacers fan, Jason moderating the sumbitch, Mad Dog, Shotgun Sean drinking in the live chat. Conti Dita's here all the way up in Canada. Is he near Calgary? No, he's near Toronto.
He's closer to Restalgia, and Carol, actually, believe it or not.
Retro Arcade Trooper, Alfred Burger, C, North, Gamer Fridge, Meatball Saucy. You got to love your meatballs when they got some sauce on them. JJ's here as well. Danny Z is in the house. El Capitad. Kongs R Us is here as well. The bad boy of home pinball.
Home arcade, pinball, and toys.
And toys. Who else? Retro Lab Rats here. Frankie D. Gabe B. Who else are we missing? Jeremy K. Hazo's here. And Buy Stuff Arcades is here as well. We got some news. Actually, we should add that.
Budget back box, baby.
Yeah, we could talk about their budget back box. If not, we could talk about it Monday. Either way works. I'm here for the burger reviews. I'm here grabbing my beer with Carl, Jeremy K. Good stuff, guys. All right, everybody's here. All right, so it's been an interesting week for the folks over at New Wave Toys. Shiloh and them right now are... What?
Well played, sir.
I'm a silent assassin now. My keyboard isn't clicking.
Oh, Restalgia is a budget front box. Yeah, I'm serious, Mike. If I hear that keyboard clicking, I'm gonna lose my mind.
He can't. He's using a laptop.
Yeah, no.
Because he doesn't do it when he's talking. He does it when everyone else is talking, and it's just when you watch the show back on replay, Mike, it just sounds and looks so bad. All the click, 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 click.
Perfect.
Are we running a professional podcast here?
Yeah.
And he can't talk and type at the same time.
We have sponsors, Mike. We have sponsors.
I really didn't think anything could top Detroit Loves Furnace, Mike, and your keyboard has taken the cake.
Oh wait, I'm right next to the air conditioning in the room. That's gonna kick it at some point.
It's just gonna be so loud. All right, so New Wave Toys, Shiloh over there being interviewed by Glenn. He did let out some nuggets of information. We'll talk in depth a little bit about their Golden Tee stuff, but I did throw in some super chats during their interview because I was curious to see about some other stuff. He mentioned that when it comes to the mini pinball machines, they had to their entire factory quit on them, or they got fired, or one of the two. And so the mini pinball machines, they had to switch to a different factory, which is kind of like slowed down the tooling and assembly process for the mini pins. But Zoltar is coming out in 2 weeks. Shiloh confirmed that.
Ooh,
Nice.
sick.
Well, not coming out. It should be on boats in 2 weeks heading to the States. But yeah, so by the end of the month, Zoltar should be making its way to the States. I think a lot of us are so excited about that. I think that's going to be one of their biggest hit products that they've ever done once people actually get it in their hands. I mean, considering what we saw in Cleveland compared to probably what this final design is going to be, that's going to be awesome. The mini bikes are still coming, maybe by the end of the year, those little mini BMX bikes and Mongoose bikes or whatever. Those are still coming. What else? What other quick? I'm gonna get your guys' reactions to all this. I'm just trying to remember it before I forget. And then what else? Am I forgetting? So, skee ball. He did confirm that because everyone voted yes for skee ball, they are 100% going to do that skee ball machine.
Nice.
And then here's the big bombshell. Shiloh said they are going to make larger arcades. That, unfortunately, Golden Tee, although some people are disappointed that it wasn't a 3/4 scale or larger arcade during Glenn's show. About 15 minutes into the show, Shiloh dropped a bombshell and said, yes, they are going to try and compete with Arcade 1-Up. He literally said Arcade 1-Up, and that they are going to make larger arcade machines, that they are going to be coming in the future. So that was probably the biggest bombshell that Shiloh dropped during that broadcast earlier tonight. So now that I gave you guys the updates, we'll talk about Golden Tee because that's going to be an extensive conversation.
No. Let's talk about the bomb first. We got to.
That's what I'm saying. We'll talk about Golden Tee and the control panel, but just those updates of all those products. What are your guys' thoughts now that I've given you the headlines? Let's go Restalgia first because I haven't heard his lovely voice in so long. What do you think about all that, man?
I think that I'm a man of few words.
And a smaller penis.
You just unloaded a lot of information.
There's a lot.
So there's a lot to talk about.
Those are those are the big headlines.
Okay, so
sorry about the ice, guys.
In order of what you've listed: good, bad, good, great. So,
okay.
Now we can go on to. No, I'm just kidding. But,
good. Arcade 1-Up, good.
Yeah. So one awesome about Zoltar. Didn't know when it was coming, and I'm so stoked to see those kind of finally make their way out. They're one of the most interesting products that I think they've released, and that they are going to release. I actually think it's probably going to be in their top 3 of most interesting products that they ever release, just because it's so intricate and it's such a unique product. So very excited to see that coming down the pipeline now. In terms of the 3/4 scale or larger machines, I'm still on the fence about that. I said right at the beginning I didn't think they should do it. I didn't think they were going to do it. So the fact that they are, great. I'm curious to see where they come in around price, what their machines look like, what kind of licenses they're able to secure, considering Arcade 1-Up does kind of have that locked down fairly well. That being said, Arcade 1-Up's been in the market for quite a while, so maybe some of those licenses are starting to expire. And they can kind of jump in on the backside of that. So that'll be interesting to see. And in terms of the pinball machine that you said that they're having some factory issues.
Yeah, they had to switch to a new factory. But they said the new factory is killing it with the assembly. He mentioned that the first factory they used for those black hole mini pins, too many issues trying to get that factory to assemble these things correctly. It's a complicated process. It's a small thing, and everything's got to be put a certain way, and it wasn't working out. So
they just need people who have experience using and handling small things. So they could just reach out to me, and I'm sure I would be willing to help them out on that. So
yeah.
So going forward, when we have a bunch of topics to talk about for one company, can we do a roundtable and just ask the person specifically about one topic? Because the next time I have to listen to Restalgia talk for that long consecutively, I'm just going to die.
That's rude. I just want you to know that that's incredibly rude. And I have feelings. I do. I have at least one feeling left. And you've almost broken it, so I would appreciate it.
I didn't think you did bad, but Mike. Speaking of which, let's move on to the next panel host. Carl, what are your thoughts on
what's going on?
All those new wave toys headlines, all the quick hits? What'd you think, man?
Motherfucker!
Bad news that I don't have it now. I want Zoltar now, so I'm glad. I'm glad that there's activity once again on Zoltar. I have been anticipating that. That's the only product. Every product that comes out, I go, I want that, and then I don't always move. But Zoltar was an immediate move. I think we were right on the show. As soon as I heard about it, I pushed the button. So I'm really excited about that. Pinball. I wish the news would have been that we moved to a different product that I can actually play. That would have been better news. Would have been better news. But it is what it is. What else? The Golden Tee, I hadn't seen it. I've seen a snippet of it.
Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah, we'll talk about that in depth in a couple of minutes. But
yep. And,
or Restalgia will, and then we'll just be so tired of it. We'll do it.
And the idea that they will compete against Arcade 1UP.
Bigger machines.
My philosophy, the more options there are in the home arcade market, the better the market is, and the better for us, the fans. So I am all for that. More competitors. I got all kinds of junk keep popping up on the screen. So I'm excited about that. I did get my little Slurpee cup here. I just pulled out the bag. I think it's maybe $20 tokens in here.
Yeah, I drank about 10 Slurpees out of that cup, and I was still thirsty. I don't know what my problem is. Maybe
and a little bubble gum stick under the thingamabob. And then I did get 2 of these little pads, arcade pads. So I'll set those up sooner or later.
Well, since we heard everyone on the panel's opinions about those topics, let's move on.
Moving
on. All right, Mike. Go ahead, Mike. Off those headlines, what are your thoughts?
Oh man, all the headlines. I wish we had just done one piece at a time.
You still can. Just take them one
time. Well, we'll dive into it.
One topic at a time. Mike.
Your quick reactions.
Wait, first of all, Michael, when you were doing your silent typing, it was kind of freaking me out. I didn't like it. It was like you were mocking me. And then 2, if you're going to live by example, you only get to talk about one.
Oh, wait a minute.
Products.
Yeah. So what I want to say is, I think when I saw Glenn's school desk there last week, like my heart did sink, because I knew that it was probably not going to be probable right now for them to do a full-size arcade. I had started to come to terms with it that this might not be it. And then when it was released, like all hope had disappeared of them making a larger scale arcade, because we know the quality they make, we know what they're into, and we know they're not tied to the same restrictions as Arcade 1UP. So hearing that Shiloh said that tonight, that's a real ray of sunlight in the home arcade community right now, because we were really hoping for it. Little disappointed it wasn't coming, but hopefully it'll come. Another thing that I don't think you mentioned, P-Dubs, they mentioned that their next arcade machine was actually going to be coming out, and it's a title from 1983.
Mm-hmm. So, I did hear that. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's pretty clear. I got a list here of all the titles. Someone sent it along, and the very last one starts with a Z and is one of Glenn's favorite arcade games of all time. And also
Zaxxon.
So I got a really strong feeling the next arcade title from New Wave Toys, also going to have another Glenn deck, is going to be Zaxxon.
Restalgia, are you still with us, man? Your screen went black.
I'm still here. I have no idea what happened. I'll fix this. I'll be right back.
This kid, man, and him trying out weird shit. He's currently streaming from his phone instead of doing anything sensible. So this is why this happened.
Yeah. Well, here, let's fix these cameras a bit. So, all right. So, and again, we got
Zoltar. I'm super excited about. Beautiful. I can't wait to see people get those in their hands. I know people have been waiting a long time, and you know what? That sucks about the plant for the pinball machines, but maybe it's a better thing, because if they fired everybody and the plant shut down, maybe there would have been a quality issue by the time it got to us.
So taking a look at 1983 arcade games, we got Star Wars, Mario Brothers, Track and Field. Track and Field would be interesting. A little mini one that you go.
That's a Glenn.
Spy Hunter. Can I get a shout out for Spy Hunter in the live chat? That would be kind of cool. Elevator Action, my favorite, but then again, Numbskull's doing it, so they're probably not doing it. They got Sinistar. Sinistar would be cool. Be a good one. Discs of Tron.
That would be difficult on such a little device. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're talking about this would be full size or a bigger size?
Well, we don't know. They said the next mini Replicade would be from 1983 is what they said. Yeah. Discs of Tron, Crystal Castles, Load Runner, Cliffhanger, Pack and Pale, Juno First, Kool-Aid Man. Some of these just don't seem possible. Mad Planets. Oh my God. If they did If they did Cubert and come out with a Mad Planets, but you'd have to have like a little mini flight stick, a little mini spinner. That would be incredible, though. Mr. Dew's Castle. I think a lot of people like Mr. Dew. Come on now.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't think that'll be it.
Yeah. 10-yard fight. What else we got on here? Professor Pac-Man. Congo Bongo? What about Congo Bongo?
No, keep going. Keep going.
Vastar. Major Havoc.
That's a cool one.
Blaster. Alley Cat. Attic, Exerion. Yeah, that's all that's on this particular list. So yeah, there you go. So I mean, we got a lot of cool possibilities from 1983.
I think my top two choices, one would be really, really expensive to get and hard to get, but I mean, with Glenn's Yoke, Star Wars, a Replicade Star Wars within a control panel with Glenn's Yoke would be pretty badass.
Yeah, that would be really cool if you think about it. And you know what? Okay, hold on. Let's put the pieces of the puzzle together here, boys. Think about it this way. When during this interview that Glenn and Shiloh were doing earlier tonight, Shiloh did confirm that with the Golden Tee thing, if this having a detached control panel, if this is successful, they'll consider doing this again in the future. He said so, and he even said these words: imagine us having a control panel with a flight yoke. He said flight yoke. And then he also teased that the next arcade game is from 1983. And what's top of the list from 1983? Star Wars.
Yeah.
So what if they're going to make a little mini Star Wars Replicade with a Glenn's mini flight yoke for the Replicade and then a separate control panel? Carl, would you want to play Star Wars on your television that way?
I wouldn't. Like I said, the Star Wars is one of the best looking cabinets I have, but not one of the most played that I had. It's just because of the nostalgic value of it. But now that since I modded it with the Buy Stuff store, I play it a whole lot more. But it makes sense from a business standpoint of being a very collectible brand. So that would be my vote for them to go that route, because they would just sell every last one they make before they even pre-sales.
Yeah.
So I want Star Wars from a Replicade standpoint. I think it'll be an amazing 1/6 scale Replicade. But with Star Wars, again, I'm going to say this. I'm sorry for being selfish. I want a full unit. I want a full arcade in my home.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did tease that they're going to be doing that kind of stuff. So I thought that was really, really cool to hear. I was excited. He said, competing against Arcade 1-Up, and that they're going to make bigger arcade machines down the road. It's going to happen. So I just wonder what that first title would be. That would be very interesting to me.
All right. Well, sorry to keep the show rushing. I want to get out on time tonight because I want to go play pinball. So let's move on to Golden Tee. Talk about that a little bit. Speed, efficiency, name of the game.
Wait a minute. You bugged us all day to do a show when we all had stuff going on, and now you're trying to rush the show?
Seems a little inappropriate and a little bit inconsiderate, if you ask me. Carl, what do you think? What's going on with Mike today?
I'm not sure why he would behave that way.
And then on top of that, 5 minutes ago, he said, "Don't rush the topics. Let's ask one at a time, P-dubs." Now instead of make up your mind, Mike. I feel like
Mike is. Once he gets what he has to say out the way,
I feel like I'm being abused. I agree with James.
He's the gaslight king.
Let's slow this shit down. I agree with James. We're going to slow down. All right.
Pump the brakes, Mike.
All right, pump the brakes, Mike. Mike, if you got to take off, you can take off. We're here now, and we'll just survive. Mike doesn't get to play pinball very often, guys, and there's a pinball place about a mile from where you're at.
Yeah, 1.2 miles, and it's got a Jaws, so I'm going to get to play Jaws for the first time. And it's got an Elvira, so I'm going to get my hands on that lovely lady.
Yeah. Is this true? Is this something they said on Glenn's show, Jim? Or are you trolling me? Because last I looked, there's a lot of hard feelings there between a couple of those parties. So,
I think that's just speculation.
I got a feeling any partnership between Shiloh, Glenn, and John D will not happen.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of bad blood there. Okay, cool.
Or maybe it could. And then breaking news.
All right, so the Golden Tee stuff. So Restalgia, people have heard my thoughts and Mike's thoughts during the week about the Golden Tee bundle that New Wave Toys is selling. What are your thoughts, man? We need a fresh opinion.
I haven't really seen that much other than a bunch of whiners on the internet. So my perspective is that I thought it looked great. As soon as they released it, I was like, whoa, that looks awesome. Good for them. And the control panel that you just put on your lap, like I was 100% anticipating that's exactly what it was. And then when they showed the teaser, I was like, yep, definitely Golden Tee. And I thought this thing looked great. I didn't have any problems with it. And then I saw in the Facebook group a bunch of crybabies complaining about the fact that they got Golden Tee. And I was like, it was not even 30 days ago. The same people were complaining that they haven't released an arcade machine in how long? They haven't announced an arcade machine. And then they go ahead and they release arguably one of the largest sports arcade games that has literally ever existed. And
Restalgia, you can tell the truth. You're just excited to finally have something substantial in your lap.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel, but that's neither here nor there, Mike. So I don't know. I thought it looked great. I saw the pricing, and then I was a little bit like, okay, $399 for the both. That's a little bit high, but at the same time, they were offering like $80 off on the pre-order, which I think one thing that we've learned with New Wave Toys is that when they give you a pre-order discount, take the pre-order discount because you're almost never going to get it at that price again unless there's
now add in shipping.
Yeah, I don't know about the shipping. Is the shipping like crazy expensive?
US, we're talking $80. To Canada, it's like $130.
Shiloh, man, just give me a call, man. I will help you on the shipping front. I can get your shipping costs down by like 50%. That's crazy. It's crazy. And I think Shiloh had said he pretty much just like carries the shipping cost onto the consumer. Like they're not stacking up the shipping cost. So there is no reason why they can't get those shipping costs down. I do a ton of shipping in my day job to all across North America into Europe. And like, I don't think I've ever paid that kind of money. And we ship like 15 to 20 pounds at a time. So it's not necessary. There's got to be ways around it. So, yeah, the shipping cost, that's not a good look. It doesn't feel like that's a good value there.
Well, we were talking about how entitled everybody is and how they complain and complain and complain. But the reality is we're the Amazon generation. We're used to getting everything with free shipping. So shipping's always going to be an issue, and especially when it's deemed high considering what other products in the market are going for.
Well, I also think it depends on the location. So for instance, I went ahead and I placed, we'll get to James's super chat after we get Carl's opinion on this. I went ahead and I placed an order today for the Golden Tee and the Golden Tee control panel. My shipping was only $48.
That's good.
Which still, in my opinion, shipping should have been like $30 for these, right? Like if you're going to charge shipping. It's still a little bit higher than what I was expecting, but still $48 for me. But keep in mind, I'm in Arizona. These things ship from California. It's not that far of a distance. I think a lot of people on the eastern side of the states were seeing like $80 charges, and they were upset. And in my opinion, they were rightfully so upset. That is a very high shipping charge for a package that's going to weigh 20 pounds or less. It's very, very high. But before we move on to James's super chat, Carl, what are your thoughts about this now that you got a good look at this, man?
Well, I like the ideal of it. I mean, I like the product. I mean, you sit this on the side of your thing as a display piece, but it's hooked up HDMI to your TV, and you get to pull out the desk, the laptop, or put it on the table in front of you and play some golf. I like it. For me, it's a no, simply because I just have so many ways to playing golf and playing this game. You know, I have my AtGames Gamer Pro that I get to play on my 50-inch TV, the same game. So I don't have a place for it in my game room, but I like the idea of it for sure. I'm glad they made it.
Was an extra deck kind of a necessity with Golden Tee? Because I mean, how easy is it going to be able to play Golden Tee with one finger on that little trackball? This is one of those things that it feels like you need an extra deck, or anything with a flight yoke or a Tron stick. you really need a big size deck. I mean, there was no way to do a Replicade without it.
And
Yeah, I was.
you want
Oh, go ahead,
the biggest screen that you can play it on too.
Yeah. So, so for instance, I was spending super chat money on Glenn's stream just to make sure some great questions were getting asked on their show. And one of the questions I asked him was, when are we going to see some actual gameplay? They got people pre-ordering this thing, and all we have is a play golf image. Have you seen any gameplay? Have you actually seen this thing in action? And Shiloh did confirm that they're going to show some gameplay in the next couple of weeks. And my response then in the live chat was, well, can you show it before the pre-sale ends? Because people would like, if people see it working and it looks super fun, they might want to jump in on it before the pre-sale ends, right?
Exactly.
So they really need to get that gameplay video out to show people what it's like playing on the Replicade as well as what it's like playing on the control panel. Before the pre-sale is only good for what, 30 days. So they got to get that out. He said it'd be like a couple weeks before they showed gameplay footage. I'm like, no, man, you got to get that out now. We got to see it.
I mean, I understand that point there. I definitely can stand on the reputation of this company that I don't think they're going to be releasing it and it not be a good product. That being said, it definitely wouldn't hurt to have that video out. But I hate for someone to be waiting on a video and not take advantage of the discount, and then decide to get it and then have to pay full price, or God forbid, after it comes out and they're all gone, have to pay double the price to get one.
Right. Yeah. I agree, Carl, 100%. So yeah, let's take care of James's super chat real quick. I think I got it pinned over here. Where is it? Okay. $5. How about thoughts on New Wave Toys trying to get Golden T4, but they couldn't get it working. It wasn't a license issue. I think if they were able to get it working on their hardware, I have a feeling that's the game they would have gone with over these games. I mean, people would have been so like, if they just announced we're making Golden T4 versus these other Golden T games we've seen from Arcade 1-Up in the past, I think so many people would have been so hyped over that. Like, that's incredible. So there you go. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, that would be a no-brainer. I would make room for it to be able to play a different game than what I have.
Yep. $2 from Don. He's happy to see modern cabinets. He went ahead and he placed his order. Thanks so much. Addicted to Arcade 1-Up just got here. We can't start over, man. Mike's rushing us. He's trying to rush us, Mike. So there you go. So yeah, so that's what's going on there. What else did we hear about this? Did Glenn ever confirm that his control panel would be usable with a Pi, a PC, his Viper board? Did he ever confirm that at all? Or is it only going to be able to work with this thing?
I don't think he's made a comment on that other way.
Yeah.
How did Glenn specify how big exactly the control deck actually is?
Well, he did not.
It's right there, Mike. It's about this much bigger than the arcade machine.
It's about 2.5 Replicades wide if you really think about it right here. So yeah. Let me see if we can get some specs in the product description. I don't think there were specs, but we'll double check. I'm double checking for you, Mike, and I'm moving as fast as I can. I know you're in a rush.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh, it's right there. Hold up.
No, that's for the Golden Tee itself. Because the Golden also, if a Golden Tee is 5.5 inches wide, this thing's got to be about, I mean, look, 5.5 inches wide over here, right? So you're talking,
just for the record, 5.5 inches is pretty wide.
So yeah, I'm guessing it's about 15 inches. So smaller than like an Arcade 1-Up control panel, but not too small for your lap or too big, right? Because it's technically a couchcade, right? So there you go. Oh, he says scroll down. Go ahead. Keep talking. Oh, here it is. Here it is right here. 15.25 inches wide. I just had to keep scrolling. Thanks so much, James. Hates everything. Appreciate it. There you go.
Yeah. I think there's one big thing this is missing. Can you go back up and show Glenn's actual control panel?
Right there?
Yeah, where's the giant cushion?
There's no cushion.
Needs a giant cushion bottom. You can't put that on your lap without a cushion bottom.
Yeah, that's true.
People are going to put that on a desk or like a coffee table or something like that. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not going to sit on their lap. I think
Good-
they're going to have it on a desk.
They're
And
going
they're
to put
going
that on the buy stuff stores pedestal.
I guarantee you, Buy Stuff Store is going to make a pedestal for this.
So Glenn asked a great question to Shiloh, and this is one of the reasons we loved Shiloh when we met him in person. Shiloh is the real deal. Shiloh is not a politician. He's not a suit. He is literally just like all of us, right? And Shiloh will tell you like it is. And Glenn asked him, he said, a lot of people were not happy with this announcement. And Shiloh's response was, and I'm paraphrasing for both of them. Shiloh's response was, we're adding all kinds of new customers. I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? Like, because think about it, like their goal is to grow their company, grow their brands, appeal to the many, not to the few. And the few who are really hoping for like, the kangaroo or something to come out, right? Like to him, it sounded like, this makes sense for them from a business decision. This is a great license for them to have and stuff. What are your thoughts
did
there,
anybody ask?
It's okay, Mike. Your name's Restalgia now.
I wanted to get Restalgia's thoughts, Mike, and then we'll rush through it.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. My video skipped here, so I didn't know if anybody was
It's okay, Mike. It's okay, Mike. Go ahead, Restalgia. What are your thoughts on Shiloh saying, we got new customers coming, baby?
I like that. He's telling the crybabies, here's a tissue for your issue, and then move on. Personally, I think it would be really cool to see other machines like Kangaroo and whatever else. But the reality is this is kind of a different direction that their company's going, right? Like it's not just an arcade machine. Now they're going with an accessory to go along with the arcade machine. And it makes sense, one, because you can't really play Golden Tee on that small form factor. And then to stack on top of that, Golden Tee, I think, is going to sell better than Kangaroo or any of those other kind of like less popular but still unique titles. So what's up, Mike? You can't tell me that I'm wrong?
No, not at all. I just saw the picture of the deck and I was like, I'm starting to think that deck looks really small.
It's 15 inches.
It's 15 inches, man. That's massive. It's like 3 times the average.
Mike, it's only about 2.5 inches smaller than an arcade one-up control panel, and you love playing on those.
But not Golden Tee.
Yeah, but hold on.
I mean, all you need is the trackball.
The trackball, man. You literally need one small section of the control deck.
I think this is the kind of thing I really need to see in person to understand the width of the control panel.
Yeah.
Just get the tape measure, dude.
So who do you think this product is for? Seriously, guys, who do you think this product's for?
Really quickly, I did want to say you do want to be careful. You don't want to, especially with their business, like where it is so community-based and community-driven. Don't do the arcade one-up. Don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. So it's fine to say stuff like that. We're bringing in new business, but still try to be respectful to the people that brought you to the show in the first place and want to support you. To the people that are like, I don't like this, don't get angry, guys. Just don't buy it. If you don't want it, just don't buy it. You know, the best way to show a company how you feel is not to complain online. They don't give a shit about that. Use your wallets to tell them how you feel.
Yep. And the live chat knew where I was going with my joke. Who is the number one person in our community who needs to buy this version of Golden Tee? And that would be James Hates Everything, because we were really making fun of him last week with his arcade one-up Golden Tee Deluxe, where he kept hitting the screen in his review video. James, if you get this, James, that problem will go away. You will just play on this control panel, James. So make sure. The
thing that I think is the most interesting is that we saw there was. It seemed like there was quite a visceral reaction to this when it was announced.
Oh, yeah.
And it even seemed as though it was on par with the same sort of visceral reaction people had when the mini pinball machine came out, and it wasn't like a V-pin, or it wasn't a mechanical, which I don't know why anyone thought that was going to be the case. But anyways, but they were still successful with those products. There was still a market in which they could sell them to in a way that they could hit their targets, and it was successful as a product for them. And I really don't see this as being a product that is not going to be widely successful. I think this is going to be an incredibly successful product for them. And the reality is that the more products that they can put out that are widely successful gives them more profits, which they can reinvest into better licenses, additional licenses, those 3/4 scales that everyone's been yelling for the last year and a half. Like, this is nothing but good news for both Glenn and for New Wave Toys. So it may not be the title you like, but this is the title you need right now, I think.
Right, and Glenn and Shiloh is of the same breed where, yeah, they want to make money, but they make it because they know it brings joy to the people that buy these things, right? And so they're never going to be concerned about the person that it brings hate to, because that's not who they're marketing it to, right? They're marketing to people that see this, go, oh my goodness, I want that, I get that, I want to put that on my shelf, I want to put that on my bar top. You know what I mean? And so that's the people that they live and they make these products for. And so, you know, they're not going to waste their energy on the people that are, because you're never going to please everybody. That's just impossible with any product of any size, of any price price. You're just not going to please everybody. And any business that tries to please everybody is going down a rabbit hole that will not lead to anything that is useful for their time.
I agree.
And so these guys are always going to focus their time on making products that they know are one they're going to sell. And they don't make a whole lot of products to begin with. They make just enough so that that they can sell every one that they make, and then some.
So, Glenn, we did talk about that at the beginning of the show. I think you were still going then, so you may have missed it. But we did talk about that. They're going to make units, so we're excited. And we also did talk about how this could be a continuing product if this does well, and that's exciting too, because you might get to make Zaxxon.
Yeah, Glenn, do me a favor if you're still here in the live chat. Keep in mind, I spent about $20 on your podcast tonight, so you owe me, dude. Can you confirm? Will your Golden Tee control panel work with a Pi, a PC, your Viper board, anything else? Or is it going to be proprietary to just this Replicade? Can I use that trackball, control panel, arcade stick for any other devices in my home, Glenn? Please answer that question, especially with the money I gave you tonight. No pressure. No pressure, but we want to know. We want to know, because that actually adds a little more spice to think about purchasing it, right? Like, you know, it adds a little more sauce. I'd love to hear it. We also got another $5 here from Jeremy K. He says, Restalgia, do you think the chip and the ALU 4K can play Golden Tee 4?
I have no idea. I've never actually played Golden Tee 4. And I don't really know what kind of, like, how resource heavy that game is. The chipset in the ALU 4K is quite powerful. And I'd imagine if they can find a way to get like an Android port of the game, then it should run no problem. But I don't know exactly what type of engine is required to run that game. So I couldn't tell you, unfortunately.
He's not answering the question, guys, in the chat.
I just don't know. If I knew, I would tell you, but I don't.
I'm disappointed.
I'm sorry. I could research it. I could come back next week prepared. I can do my research and come back.
Not you, Glenn. I'm talking to Glenn. He's not answering. Oh, boo. He won't answer that. All right. Whatever happened to the Dragon's Lair monitor? He said that's coming soon too, right? Like he gave an update on pretty much everything that's coming out, and it's all happening. It's just their number one priority right now is getting Zoltar released in the next couple of weeks to everybody. And I think that Zoltar is going to blow people's minds when they get it in their homes, because we all saw it in Cleveland. It was awesome. Well, not Restalgia because he couldn't get across the border. But Carl, you remember Zoltar, right?
Absolutely.
I'm so excited to get mine.
I am excited. I took some videos of it when it was in Cleveland. You know, obviously the ticket, we haven't seen it with the production ticket dispenser, right? They had the prototype version in Cleveland. So I'm excited to see the actual fortune ticket and how that mechanics works.
Now, let me ask a question to the live chat, because I think there's a lot of people, guys, a lot of you guys who are tuning into this broadcast right now. We're watching the New Wave Toys stream with Glenn before this, before we went live. Let me ask you this question. Did Shiloh change any of your minds, and did you end up, or are now, do you think you'll end up pre-ordering this Golden Tee either the Replicade by itself or the combo unit after what you heard and saw from New Wave's Toys tonight on Glenn's show? Because I find it interesting when New Wave Toys releases a product and all they do is put it on their website. There's always like this knee-jerk reaction to it, right? But when Shiloh goes on these shows and talks to the community, what's interesting is, like, for instance, that mini pinball machine, like when that was announced, the mini pinball machine, a lot of people were like, it's not playable, blah, 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 right? But then he did an interview with Glenn about the mini pinball machine, and everything he talked about kind of made more sense, right? Because you hear it from the reasons why they did it the way they did, and all that stuff. So I was just curious to see if like this helped them, and people out there to understand why they decided to go this way with this product.
Did he say he'd pay my shipping? Only a joke. I'm interested in the Replicade for this one to fill up my lineup. I don't know if I think Glenn's control panel is incredible. I think this is probably going to be the best arcade size control panel that you can play Golden Tee on in the home arcade space right now. The trackball is going to be amazing. It's just, with that price point of I think it's like $350, is it altogether? Once you do the
it's up there. It's up there.
The discount's like $319 with the discount.
$319, and then when you add in the $140 shipping for me, this is where it gets a little bit difficult.
Is it really $140 to you?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Well, as always, I mean, that particular company's got a lot of stuff coming out, a lot of stuff in the hopper. And if there's a product that doesn't interest you, whether you don't like the game or you don't like the pricing, just like Mike says, don't buy it, man. And hopefully the next one will interest you, right? So we'll have to just see how that's going. Overall, I thought Glenn and them put on a fun show. Shiloh cracks me up every time he talks. He's such a funny guy. He's hilarious. So, all right. Well, I think that's enough New Wave Toys, Mike. It's been 45 minutes of New Wave Toys. You want to talk a little bit about some AtGames stuff?
No.
Talk about Assassin's Creed.
Save the AtGames stuff. Let's talk about some of the other stuff in the middle, because I am interested in talking about Assassin's Creed and the new everything. I want to talk about those. And then we'll finish up big with AtGames.
Yeah, it sounds like you're underwater. Did you say you wanted to talk about Assassin's Creed?
Do I really sound like I'm underwater?
Only when you have your hands in front of your face for some reason.
Sorry. Okay.
All right. Restalgia got super hyped today. He said we had to talk about Assassin's Creed. What is going on with Assassin's Creed before we get into some AtGames conversation, Restalgia?
Just really, really, really clearly, I have to now at this point do my, I don't know what it's called. You have to do the notification. I am part of the Ubisoft Creators Program, so I have to clearly say that before we talk about this game.
Okay, so am I. I am part of the Ubisoft Creators Program. We get information about stuff coming up and Ubisoft, both of them, both companies. But I have no idea what you're talking about, P-Dubs.
Are there any companies you guys? Are there any companies you guys don't work with?
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, Restalgia.
Yeah.
You said we had to talk about this tonight. What's been going on with this game?
Well, I don't know. I actually did this is my first time hearing about it. So what is this thing?
Oh my god. This is Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Oh, that's right. Well, Ubisoft has announced a new Assassin's Creed. It's called Assassin's Creed Shadow.
Right.
It is coming out end of this year, kind of like November. I don't recall exactly. I think it's like a November time release. And it has, from my perspective, it looks great. But it has caused a little bit of turbulence with some people in the gaming community.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, it's interesting. They are going into like feudal Japan type of timeline, and they've got samurais and shinobis in here, and I don't know. If you ask me, it looks pretty badass.
Can I pull a Kanye West on you, Restalgia? I'm gonna pull a Kanye West. Restalgia. Yeah. I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah.
But but Ghost of Tsushima was the greatest feudal Japanese game of all time. Of all time.
It's possible.
Okay, go ahead. Keep talking about this game.
Well, that's pretty much it. I mean, we don't know much more than what they've announced in the.
Well, why aren't people happy about the game?
Okay. So it's a whole political correctness type of thing. There's a lot of people unhappy with the characters in which they chose. So you've got two leads. You've got a shinobi character, which is a Japanese female character, and for the samurai, you have a black male character. And there was a lot of people saying this is woke and it's the DEI stuff coming in, and I think a lot of those people are speaking out of ignorance, because the main character in this is based on an actual person who lived in Japan during the mid 1500s. He was black, he was badass, and he's actually been in many different games and movies, and like he tends to be something that you can build a really good story around. And I just found it interesting that a lot of people were kind of pulling the whole wokeness thing out of this, because from what I can see, the characters look amazing. The gameplay looks really good. The storyline seems to be pretty interesting. And I don't know. I'm for this. I think this looks like it's going to be a ton of fun.
What are your thoughts, Mike?
This is my first time actually looking at it. I've been busy, of course, since this was announced with the work meetings. And yeah, I mean, like, there's no actual gameplay being shown right now, right? This is all trailer.
Just trailer.
I mean, the trailer looks great, and like the concept looks great, because Assassin's Creed, it's always great to get a refresh every now and then. Like when they went to Egypt a couple of years ago for Assassin's Creed Origins, like I absolutely love that. Valhalla was such a cool topic too. So going to feudal Japan, it's another nice jump for the Assassin's Creed franchise, and seeing how they implement that. So yeah, I love the Assassin's Creed games. Like, they're ridiculous. You can usually buy them used a couple months after, well, not used, but on sale a couple months after they come out for like $40 in Canada. And then you get like 60, 70 hours out of them, and it's all fun. So there's no losing here.
I agree. I'm a big fan of the series in general.
Yeah. I love Assassin's Creed games. We've talked about this for years. Every time there's a new Assassin's Creed game, guys, we've been doing this show 3 years. We've seen several new Assassin's Creed games that we've had to talk about. But still, my favorite of all time, Black Flag. Still my favorite of all time. I just love that pirate game. So it's interesting that people are upset. I don't know. Carl, what are you thinking? Do you play the Assassin's Creed, or
Assassin's Creed is one of those games that I always am fascinated by. I always buy one for one platform or the other. I play it for like maybe 20 minutes, and I never ever go back and play it again. I like the idea of it. I like it. I just never have enough time. I don't know which one I played last. I have one for Xbox S.
Yeah,
and I like it, but it's just too much stuff. I normally just free roam. I never stick to the story. You know what I mean? But the whole idea of the characters. Look, man, as growing up as a light-skinned black man in this world, I'm always excited when I see somebody that looks like my folk, on a game. We grew up. Everybody was white, and I used to play like Chung Li. I used to play as the women, because I play anybody that's not a white male. You know what I mean? Because that's just
right.
Arcade, because they were made by white males, and they made them. You know what I mean? And so I'm always ready for any diversity in video games. One of my favorite is what's one where the guy takes over the computers and takes people money out their bank accounts. What's that? Can I think? I got it sitting right in front of me with the two characters there. There was a Watchdog.
Yeah.
Watchdog 1, and they had one black Watchdog 2 that had black guy. But I have and I seldom ever buy the collector's versions of anything, but the Watchdog, I have both collectibles for that. So I do appreciate when we get some folk in the games with color. But again, as much things in this society has been what we call whitewashed, we finally get something that's blackwashed. I'm not going to complain.
I don't know if that's the right term, Carl, but
Hey, we can't get in any trouble because Carl said it. You know what's funny though is do you guys remember the movie The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
It seems like people are having that kind of reaction to this. Now, this is apparently this is a character who's based on someone who really existed and all that stuff that Restalgia said. So, me personally, I just don't care. I think it's cool. Like
we had Mel Gibson, right? He played the Indian. You have many examples. Even when, like I mentioned, the game showing here us on Netflix. I think the Blue Eye Samurai.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's clearly whitewashed, but it's a good series. So who's going to complain when it's if the product's good?
Wait, hold on. I think Glenn started over from the beginning. I think Glenn is like an hour behind us. Glenn, you need to tell us. Glenn, you need to tell us if your control panel will work with a PC, your Viper board. We must know. Oh, sorry guys. I don't mean to scream at him, but come on.
Yeah. Anyways, cool announcement. Excited to see more about it. And as much as people want to complain about it, this isn't Jake Gyllenhaal in Prince of Persia. I mean, this is something completely different, right?
Or Tom Cruise in The Last Samurai.
So, anyways, I'm excited for that. They also released a different game that I did want to mention. We haven't covered it yet. I got a review copy that I'm excited to get to when I get home. And Restalgia, I think you might have got one as well for another game called Prince of Persia: The Rogue Prince of Persia. And this is a Dead Cells styled Prince of Persia game that you can now play.
Oh, interesting. So that's interesting.
So the wire is USB for
Glenn is like probably 20 minutes behind us. So
I think Glenn started over. Someone tell Glenn. Someone text him. Tell him to fast forward and get current. He is 20.
Glenn, I have to tell you about the future.
Glenn, come join us in the future, Glenn. All right, guys. So Restalgia wants to show off real quick before we go to AtGames.
No. Restalgia doesn't want to show anything off.
Why?
Because people get mad when I show off my handhelds.
No,
you specifically said, dude, I really want to do this show tonight. There's so much to talk about.
No.
Anbernic.
Just the handhelds. If we're here's the thing. If we're going to show off the handheld, we're going to do a dedicated stream just to the handheld. We're going to convert this. All the rest of the topics are going to be tossed in the trash. I'm going to switch the camera. We're going gameplay live on handhelds tonight. Your choice. Let's do it.
Or you can show the handheld right now real quick. Just some quick thoughts on it. Guys, I'm super excited about this. We're going to make Restalgia a little bit larger than everybody else here. Restalgia, show people.
You ready? Here's the box. And here's the back of it. That's it.
Show me
showed you guys the handheld.
Show me the good stuff, because when you sent a picture of it to me today, I got hyped. I thought it looked really cool.
Okay, so I'll show the front of the box for anyone who has not seen this. This is the Anbernic RG35XX SP. I don't know where they get their... I understand the SP, but I don't like the 35XX
All right.
Name. If you can't tell what that is, it is a clamshell. We're going to go ahead and take it out of the box.
Here we go.
Inside of the box, we've got a simplistic approach. It's very minimalist.
All right.
It comes with just the console. You get a USB cable and an instruction manual. Nothing else. No bells and whistles. Just the console itself. So, it is slightly larger.
That's so cool. That is so cool.
I know, Mike, you're going to love this, Mike. This is right up your alley.
See if I can get it. It's not focusing on that, but you've got an HDMI out and you've got a USB-C. On the bottom, you've got two micro SD card ports, and then you've also got the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. And then you crack it open. And you get a nice,
look at
big,
that!
Beautiful screen. Sorry, I got to figure out where it is. Big, beautiful screen. See if I can actually get this turned on.
Let's go full screen on Restalgia. We just want to show this off real quick. He just got this. I'm jealous, man. That thing looks awesome. Talk about memories, right?
This thing is actually pretty sweet. So I don't have it here, but when I got this out of the box, because I was kind of playing around with it to kind of see exactly, what it is, how well it's going to play games and things like that. I set it next to an actual Game Boy SP. And it is a little bit larger. marginally larger, probably 10-15% or so bigger in terms of its total size. But everything else is like spot on. Like this button in the here is the button on the SP that you would press to adjust the screen brightness on the original console. And instead, they've kind of utilized that space for the menu button. So that's how you can access and get in and out of emulators and things like that. Start and select. The only difference here, obviously, you've got your D-pad. You also have your action buttons 4 instead of 2. You've got 4 shoulder buttons as well. They are actually placed. You've got your L and your R buttons placed in the exact same spot that they would on the SP. Then you've got the other shoulder buttons there as well. And then in terms of performance, I've only spent, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes total playing around on it so far. I'm going to spend some more time this weekend.
Right.
But it can play PSP. Not super well, but you can get it at running like 1x on the like the native, or sorry, the standalone PPS SPP emulator with frame skips. I was running actually God of War, and it played okay on this. You can get some N64, but probably not. Without an analog stick, I almost say don't bother with N64. But where this thing shines is Game Boy Advance. Like, it uses the full screen. The screen's correct. The gameplay looks really sharp. It's super bright. The chipset in here is way more than what you need for Game Boy Advance. And honestly, this is actually really, really sick. And the price point on this thing is low.
How much? How much?
So on because they just launched either yesterday or today, so they've got like a $6 discount. You can buy this for $58.
$58?
Yeah,
It's like
100%.
$58.99 or something like that, plus the shipping and whatever your local taxes are.
Is it on Amazon or where is it?
You can buy it right from Anbernic.
Oh, just Anbernic's website.
Anbernic's website, and it's also on AliExpress. But it would be on the Anbernic AliExpress.
And if you
website.
egg now, do you get Cool Toys email for ROMs?
Someone brought that up, yeah.
It does come with a little SD card full of goodies.
Yes!
The interesting thing about Anbernic is that they will give you lots of games, but they will not give you any Mario games.
Yeah,
right.
You don't get Super Mario World for Super Nintendo.
Right.
You don't get Mario Kart.
You don't want to
You
mess
get
with
any of
Nintendo.
Yeah, well, that's it. They're not going to play around with that.
Right.
So I don't know why they're like, we just won't play around with Nintendo. We'll screw everyone else over.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Whatever. If you order one, it should come with a 64 gig card. Maybe it's an option you can choose. I haven't looked on their website to see what they're actually offering. But it's actually a pretty slick little handheld. It is going to provide the same performance that all of their RG35XX devices will. It's the same chipset. Just generally speaking, it's actually really good. Are you looking for P-Dubs? You looking for their product on their site?
This is the RG35XXSP. Okay, I'm going to put a direct. I'm going to put a boom. I just put a direct link to it in the live chat for the viewers.
Well, let's pull it up on screen too, so people can see it. Let's do that.
There you go.
There it is. It's available in 4 different colors. So you've got the solid gray, or I guess the silver, like we have here. They've got a translucent purpley blue. They also have a gray.
I'm getting that Game Boy one.
I know.
Yeah, so that's the gray one. I think they call that the gray. It kind of looks like Nintendo. And then they also have they call it a black transparent, but it's more of like a smoky gray transparent. So you can pick whatever color style you want to go with. Great little devices. If you're just looking for something that can play like the retro games, stuff that's like PlayStation 1 and before, this is going to do it for you. Just keep in mind there's no analog stick. So if you're going to start jumping into Dreamcast, or if
I just want to play Nintendo ROMs on this. That's all I want to do. That's it.
Well, you got to do a little extra work for that.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry. I'll DM Cool Toy after the show. We'll get the ROMs.
Guys, let's move on from this now. And
damn it, Mike.
Well, no, Mike's right.
Can I just say one more thing?
If Mike's right, because if we spend more than 5 minutes talking about a handheld on a gaming channel,
our viewership's gonna tank. It's gonna be terrible.
No, some really shitty YouTubers are gonna get mad at us. So we really need to keep moving. Let's go.
But before we go, can I just say one more thing? One more thing. So one thing that I love about this thing, which it was like the first thing I tested, was the screen shuts off when you close the clamshell. And I was like, if they don't do that, it is the biggest miss. But it works. You close it, screen is off. You wait a couple seconds, you open it, you can see the screen should be black. and then it comes back on.
So
it's wonderful. Goes into sleep mode as soon as you close it.
Guys, don't buy this. And like Restalgia said, this is great for Game Boy Advance. But like, keep in mind, buy this. The real key experience here is going to be retro gaming, and retro gaming from back in the day, not PSP, not N64, not PlayStation Portable. So don't Dreamcast, PS, even PlayStation 1. Don't mess around with that. Just stick to the retro.
PS1's great on it. PS1's great.
Some things require the analog sticks when the dual.
One game requires
one game that's included on it, but you're also people are going to add shit.
When you're done with that,
there's one PS1 game that requires analog.
When you're done with that, can you send it to Carl? Carl, would you like to have that?
Ape Escape, Mike, is the only game that actually requires analog.
All right, so guys, before we get to AtGames, I did want to talk about the new Raw Thrills announcement today. So this is something that you would have to go to a Dave & Buster's to play or your local arcade. But there's a brand new NBA game being announced from Raw Thrills today. That's actually really super exciting. P-Dubs, you got the goodness?
I'll find the goodness. Mike. Whoa, hold on. I got to mute the goodness. The goodness is too loud.
You got to mute the goodness.
All right, so real quick news bite before we get into AtGames, guys. Raw Thrills is bringing back one of your favorites. That's right, we got the teaser trailer today coming to your local arcade. What's it going to be, guys? Carl, what are you thinking, man? I think it's pretty obvious. I think it's pretty well. Okay, well, you know what? We're going to play it with the audio because
I can send you a picture, actually.
Bringing back NBA Jam, Carl. That was Tim Kitzrow. Did you hear it?
I did hear it. Just briefly. Yep. That was it? That's the whole trailer?
That's it. It's just a teaser announcement. I'm sure there'll be a full reveal coming very, very soon.
It's up.
Oh, here it is. Oh, shit. That was quick.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. So new NBA. Is it going to have all the current generation people?
Well, everybody except for Shaq and Michael Jordan.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's a joke because no NBA Jam.
All right. There you go. Well, there you go. That'll be fun to play at Dave & Buster's.
This is going to be at Dave & Buster's?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty awesome, man.
So what we got to do is when this finally comes out, we got to fly out you, Carl, me, and Keo Deacon so we could redo our original NBA Jam 4-player game.
Yeah, that was fun back then. I remember I got to be the referee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Do you remember when we did that live stream?
Yeah.
Playing NBA Jam?
We weren't actually playing each other. We
were playing Ghosts. Oh, whoa. We were playing Ghosts. Yeah, we discovered that it was the online was jacked up and they had to fix it.
And we haven't played since, so we don't know if it's actually fixed.
No, they fixed it and we tested it.
Yeah, they fixed it, but we don't know that they fixed it with experience.
Yes. No, we tested it.
They sent us the beta builds. They sent us the beta builds, Carl. It's been Carl. I know it's been a long time, and
8 years.
And you don't eat carbs anymore, Carl. I know it's hard to remember everything.
Anyways, guys,
I eat plenty of carbs. What are you talking about?
I love you with everything that's in me, but I gots to go. It's an hour and 10 minutes. I got to go play pinball. Enjoy the rest of the show. You guys are fantastic. You have wonderful fans, but I gots to go.
Mike,
all right.
You got like 10 more minutes in you. What are you talking about?
You got 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes.
Let's do 10 minutes.
Yeah, we will do 10 minutes because it's really, really.
I just quit. Son of a bitch.
Colonel put me off. Colonel did that.
Look, well, it's literally only a few minutes. You can't talk about this for an hour. I don't know who would, but AtGames and Zen Studios announced a crap ton of games coming very, very soon. I'll find the list here for you guys.
And Michael, there's always tomorrow for pinball. So
there's not. I got to go home.
You got until 2 a.m., buddy, and it's what is it time? It's like 8:30 your time. You got tons of time. You're good. It's boys' night.
Yeah, so AtGames just put out on the press wire today that, hey, man, they got 45 pinball packs from Zen Studios coming, as well as obviously 2 subscription service options. So, but there are some good titles coming. Obviously, this announcement made no mention of ongoing tech issues or things they're looking into. Hopefully, that'll all get ironed out before many of these games get released. But let me try and zoom in here a little bit more. But if you guys like your Zen Studios pinball games, you got the Sorcerer's Lair Wild West Rampage. I'm super excited about World Cup Soccer because I freaking love that game.
And
Amazing.
Fishtails is a lot of fun too. It's a hard game, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, Fishtails is hard, but very popular. World Cup Soccer is an amazing game, whether you play it in real life or a digital version of it. It's so cool. Universal Games, we're going to get the Jurassic World, the Universal Classics, Williams Pinball Monster Pack, DreamWorks Pinball. And right here, Mike, we've been waiting all year for this. Now, they need to make a goddamn Chucky skinned AtGames Legends Ultimate 4K, and I think that thing would sell like hotcakes if they make one.
Hey, P-Dub, shut up for a second, because
Oh.
you got to give the people what they want. Thank you very much, Jim, the Pacers fan. $9.99 super chat. Michael
Yeah.
B. Pinball money.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks so much, Jim. We greatly appreciate it. Oh, let me get that off the screen. But I'm excited to see this. Chucky.
Do we know
and
what
nothing.
games are going to be within each pack? It's pretty. You can
The
find that out just by
Universal-
going.
Well, no. The Universal Classic Legends mini pack is E.T., Jaws, and Back to the Future.
Right.
Jurassic World is Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, and I can't remember the third one in there.
Yeah.
And then Williams Universal Monster Pack is Creature from the Black Lagoon and also Monster Bash. So 2 more Williams tables that are friggin' awesome.
Yeah. And like the DreamWorks one is going to be like How to Train Your Dragon, Kung Fu Panda,
That's
those.
so sweet.
So,
And
they,
last one down is Xena Warrior Princess, Battlestar Galactica, and Knight Rider.
yeah, dude.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I did a live stream playing the new Zen games, and all 5 games that just came out, fantastic games. And that soccer game that Mike has zero patience for was phenomenal.
Hate it.
Go watch my live stream where I actually show you how to play the soccer game correctly, unlike Mike.
You can suck a dick. I hate it.
The Gearbox games, I'll be honest, guys, I wasn't a big fan of the Zen Studios Gearbox games, but if you guys are, I'm happy for you.
I like Borderlands. That's about it.
Now,
What are the other two?
Brothers in Arms.
Yeah,
and,
the War One, Brothers in Arms.
Brothers in Arms
World
and
War
some
Z.
kind of
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Brothers in Arms, and then the other one was some kind of space. I don't know. I didn't like those games.
Oh man, but and then they got Garfield coming, and then they also announced for Restalgia, My Little Pony.
If they don't do a My Little Pony theme machine, it's a straight up miss.
You know what's a fun game on Zen Studios is their original game. It came out last year. Guys, the Samurai game? I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
I like that game. They should also put that on here as well. I'd like to see that.
I think if you read between the lines, you can kind of see what's coming. I think right now in this 45 pack, we should get pretty much everything, maybe with the exclusion of Star Wars and Marvel, but the intention is to have everything coming.
Yeah. So of the 45 pinball plaques, 6 have already been announced, and an additional 14 packs were revealed today. 14 packs, but there's a lot more packs coming. Pretty much the entire library is coming, but we're waiting on Star Wars and Marvel, right, Mike?
So I want to just answer this, Shreddy B. I'm very sorry because right now there are no plans to release the Zen games on the Legends Pinball HD. And that was made clear right from the very beginning. The very first announcement about Zen coming to the 4KP, there was never a conversation about these coming to the HD. But I hear so many people in the community saying, when are these coming to the HD? We've been forgotten. And I really feel bad for you, but it was never said they were. There was no plan on that.
It was expressly said they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even a matter of, like, them not mentioning it. They just right at the very beginning, they made it incredibly clear. Unfortunately, these are not going to be able to make it over to the HD side. The HD machine will not be able to run these games on the new Pinball FX engine.
I did do a stream on this earlier, and I did say, Shreddy B, so like, don't lose all hope, because I mean, that has been loud and vocally said to AtGames over and over and over again about the Legends HD. So if there's a will and a way, I'm sure they'll try to do it. But I mean, right now, your best bet is to, if you can, go OTG and play it through that.
Yeah, that's probably the easiest way. I mean, you can play all those games today if you wanted to on
Yeah,
your ALP.
but not a lot of owners have. Not every owner has a PC or a Steam Deck or another device to connect to go play OTG. It's
and
more. That's more money out of their pocket.
if they don't have it, unfortunately, there's nothing coming. Hopefully, AtGames can eventually do it for you.
Yeah. But man, they really, think about it, guys. We've mentioned this several times. There's going to be well over 100 Zen Studios pinball games on this 4K platform. And these games will probably be playable on the Legends Ultimate 4K, the Legends Pinball 4K, and any other 4K devices coming later. They really got to get all the tech issues sorted out. Because if they have a library of 300 games and 100 of them people aren't happy with the performance, it's not going to be a good look for them. So it's really cool that they announced all these games, but they really got to just wrap up this whole flipper issue, right? And stuff like that.
So really quickly, JCat, the Legends HD was never marketed to play Zen games without OTG. So I don't know if you're talking about the Legends 4KP, but I think there's a disconnect in the conversation there.
Yeah, you'll definitely be able to play the Zen games natively on the 4K machine, just not on the HD machine. But that's been what was said expressly since the machine was even announced before pre-orders.
So James, here's what's interesting is they're going to have 100 some games coming, but does that mean one game a week? Now this month, we're going to see 3 weekly releases, right? It was Star Trek last week. What do we got coming out this week, Mike? Or
is it Twilight Zone and then Godzilla
and then Godzilla? But it could be another month before more games come out, right? So keep that in mind too. Like the games will come out when they're ready or when they decide to release them. So they really need to work on that. It'll be a while before all 100 and whatever some Zen games are on this platform. It's not going to be by the end of the year.
Just really quickly to answer JCat, we are not talking about the same thing you're talking about. We're not telling people to play Zen games OTG. I know what you're saying about the lag, and 100%. So I think your conversation and our conversation don't correlate; they're parallel.
Right. Yeah, like I've been saying here, they gotta fix these issues. Having all these games available to buy and download and play directly on your machine is awesome, but this tech issues, they need to go away. They need to go away, or else this is going to just keep putting more and more egg on their face, on the studio's face, and I'm sure neither AtGames or Zen Studios want that. It needs fixed, resolved. It's been a long time already, and it needs resolved sooner than later. So it's great to say you got all these games coming, but if half of your audience plays them and says they don't play well, that's not a good look. So, I mean, look at the reviews Star Trek is getting on the AtGames website. There's a bunch of 1-star reviews on there. The community is speaking up. They're letting their voices be heard, saying, hey, you guys got to fix this. I paid $15 for a game that isn't performing the way it should, right? So they got to nail this. They got to just wrap this up. Just get it fixed. Get it fixed.
Again, the same thing I said for New Wave Toys. If you guys are not happy with the way that Zen games are performing, instead of complaining, just online, just don't buy them.
Wait till the solution is out.
Yeah.
Yep. Speak with your wallets. Carl, what do you want to show us right here? What do we got?
Oh, I'll just show Mike for this Golden Tee Replicade is only $23 shipped to my house.
But that's not the bundle though.
That's not the bundle.
That's not the bundle. That's not the bundle. So that's just the Golden Tee cabinet. You got to get the bundle.
A man of science.
Well, I'll see what that is there, Michael B.
Woo! There you go. So what are your guys' thoughts? Have you guys seen photos, videos, any content out there about the way the Star Trek table looks? Now, here's what's interesting is some people feel that what you might call the lag or performance stuttering that's on the Star Trek The Next Generation game is minimal compared to some of the other games they've released that still have this issue, but they feel like the graphics were downgraded. Restalgia is kind of our tech expert. Do you feel that like AtGames might have to be dialing back and Zen Studios the quality of these games in order to get better performance out of them? Because that's one theory that I've saw in people's forums.
You think they're arcade one-upping them?
I have no idea. I haven't seen any photos. I've also not played the Star Trek game that people are referring to. So, I mean, my first question would be like, what are you comparing it to? Are you comparing it to the PC version? Are you comparing it to the Android version? So that would be the first thing. But again, I don't know. So maybe there is a difference even between the Android versus what they've provided. I haven't seen anything personally. I would find it very interesting if what they were doing was downscaling resolution and like reducing the texture packs in those games in order to get them to run when I think those games should be able to run. If all the other games are running with the proper texture packs and they all look great, like visually they look good, then it would be interesting to me. And it would be actually a pretty serious question why Zen would, like, what's different about that specific table that would make it more resource heavy on the hardware that would cause it to need reduced texture packs. But again, I have no idea. I haven't seen any side-by-sides. I've never personally played the Star Trek game. I'm not a Star Trek guy. So for me, I can't really answer that unless I personally see it. And I don't develop for AtGames. I'm not doing any projects with them on that side of things at all. So I have no insight into what could be going on that front. So,
yeah, I'm traveling, so I never got to check it out yet. I haven't got to really watch any videos, so I'm sure when I get home, I'll be picking it up, and I'll probably do gameplay on it, and we'll see then live and in living color what my thoughts are. Someone mentioned, is Attack from Mars really good? I think it plays really well, but my experience comes from playing the arcade one-up, and someone told me that the arcade one-up one had some inherent lag in it as well. So maybe I think Attack from Mars plays so well and I do so well on it because I'm used to playing on the arcade one-up one that had similar lag. I don't know.
Yeah. I posted a YouTube short on my channel just showing off kind of like the bottom half of the table you can see is a little bit, it's not a little bit, it's a lot pixelated, some muddy areas. It doesn't look as clean and sharp as some of the other tables, right? For instance, let me give you an example. When you look at the Gottlieb games, you go and fire up like Gottlieb Wipeout or Gottlieb Gladiator, the upscaled images that they've made for those games, they look incredible. Those games are so bright and beautiful. But then you go turn on Gottlieb Victory and it's pixelated, it's blurry, it doesn't look as good, and it sure as hell doesn't look like a 4K version of Victory, right? So, with this Star Trek The Next Generation, it's definitely a more pixelated version of this pinball game than playing it on other platforms. So at least my experience. Now, when it comes to actually gameplay, it played okay for me. Like, yeah, their lag is still there, but it was definitely better than some of the other games for sure. It's just not as pretty to look at. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. And if it is something as simple as like they're using they bundled in the wrong texture pack, because that's what it is. It's the assets within the texture pack.
Yeah.
That's a fix for them. That's super simple to just release an update. You update it and then problem solved. So, but I don't know. Without seeing it firsthand, I can't really tell you what it is or what it isn't or why they would do what they did, if they did anything at all. I don't know.
I will offer kudos.
They're all being honest.
Yeah.
They're sharing their opinion.
There's an inherent question there when you say one person's being honest that the rest of the people aren't being honest. So I just find it funny.
Well, Mike, you should stop lying.
Just say, Paul, just say, P-dubs, I agree with you. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are just sharing their opinion, and neither of them have seen or played the table yet themselves. So there you go. But here's my recommendation, right? The Gottlieb games are based upon real pinball games, and these Williams games are based upon real pinball games. And when I fire up a Farsight Studios Gottlieb Wipeout or Gladiator, and you look at how goddamn sexy those games look on the 4K machine, like, I'm sure Zen Studios can do the same and make these tables look just as good on the 4K machine.
I really hope they get there soon.
Why do the Gottlieb games look better? I mean, that's, and we're talking real games. We're real games.
Both Farsight Studios
and
Magic Pixel created these specifically for the 4KP, where Zen Studios are trying to port something onto the 4KP, and it's not working because of a handshake issue.
Oh yeah, and Al's Garage Band. Mike, have you tried the Gottlieb games yet?
I tried Haunted House, Black Hole. I played some Class of 1984, is it, or 81? But I haven't played Al's Garage Band yet.
Yeah. Oh my God. So many of the Gottlieb games look fantastic. Like they did a really good job bringing those over to the 4K. There's just a couple of tables. I know Victory's one of them, which is a shame because I freaking love that game. I love that game. It's one of my favorite games, Gottlieb games. But it's a hot mess. The game looks blurry, crappy as all hell. So, Carl, how are you, man? I'm sorry.
All those games suck.
How much was your shipping, Carl? Did you figure it out after?
Yeah, it was $78.42.
All right.
That's so crazy. Come on.
Wow.
That's
your
the big
discount's gone.
Yeah.
Well, essentially, you're getting free shipping with the discount, basically.
Yeah,
but
that shouldn't be the case, though, man.
No.
So they should just say pre-order and get free shipping.
Well, what they should do is they do the pre-order discount, what's amazing, and then fix their shipping system so they can do cheaper shipping. And we don't know. None of us work in business. Restalgia only pretends to. So, I mean, if anybody can figure it out, maybe this is just, it is what it is.
Well, guys, we have been going for 90 minutes, so that's our usual show run time. Plus, Mike wants to go play some real pinballs. So just want to say thanks for tuning in for another week at Super Game Room Dudes. We'll be back next week with another hot show. Carl, whenever you're ready, send the people on their way.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to the Super Game Room Dudes. We appreciate you. We love you. And we always look forward to hanging out with you on Friday nights. And until next time, guys, we'll see you on the web.